What if the person you're forced to marry has no soul, no heart, and no intention of ever loving you? And what if, despite everything, you still manage to melt the ice inside them? This isn't just a love story. It's a war between duty and emotion. And one brave woman dares to fight it with nothing but her heart. Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. Today's story is intense. It's raw. It's emotional. And it's one of the most powerful stories we've ever shared. Imagine being 20 years old, a virgin, with dreams of love and freedom, only to be married off to a cold, emotionally shut down war general. No choice, no voice, no love. But here's the twist. Instead of running, she chooses to fight. Not with weapons, but with patience, strength, and compassion. And over time, the impossible begins to happen. This is a story about breaking emotional walls, healing invisible wounds, and the courage it takes to love someone who's forgotten how to feel. So grab your headphones, settle in, and listen closely. Because this story might just change the way you see love, pain, and second chances. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Do you believe love can truly transform even the coldest hearts? Love. Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. Today's story is intense. It's raw. It's emotional. And it's one of the most powerful stories we've ever shared. Imagine being 20 years old, a virgin, with dreams of love and freedom, only to be married off to a cold, emotionally shut down war general. No choice, no voice, no love. But here's the twist. Instead of running, she chooses to fight. Not with weapons, but with patience, strength, and compassion. And over time, the impossible begins to happen. This is a story about breaking emotional walls, healing invisible wounds, and the courage it takes to love someone who's forgotten how to feel. So grab your headphones, settle in, and listen closely. Because this story might just change the way you see love, pain, and second chances. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Do you believe love can truly transform even the coldest hearts? Love. The military mansion where she was taken that evening felt less like a home and more like a fortress built to keep feelings out. Gray stone walls, long cold corridors, no laughter, no flowers. Emily's room was next to William's, but the door between them stayed locked. Rules were posted on her bedside table, typed and signed. Wake at 6:30 a.m. No leaving the house unescorted, no personal contact. Physical intimacy will not be required. The last line stung more than any slap could. She wasn't a wife. She was a shadow. Each day mirrored the last. Cold breakfasts, stiff silences, and the distant sound of a man pacing halls like a ghost in uniform. And yet, she did not cry. Not at first. But every night, alone under heavy blankets in a bed that wasn't hers, she whispered to the darkness, "How do you survive in a place where love is forbidden?" The answer never came. But inside her, a quiet rebellion began. Emily began to bend the rules. She wore lighter dresses. She took her coffee 10 minutes late. She wandered hallways William had never invited her into. And then one day, she found the garden. A tangled mess of weeds and forgotten roses. It was unkempt, silent, wild. And she loved it instantly. There she could breathe. There she could sing softly and imagine a different life. It became her refuge. When the rains came, she stayed out longer than she should have. She got lost in the storm, the paths blurred, and panic set in. Then she saw him. No uniform, no medals, just William, soaked, searching, shouting her name. When he he found her, he wrapped his coat around her shoulders. "Why did you come?" she whispered, trembling. "Because you didn't answer when I knocked," he said softly. And in that moment, his ice began to crack. A formal military ball brought them into the public eye again. Emily wore black, sleek, daring, elegant. She walked not behind him, but beside herself. Men noticed, so did William. A young officer asked her to dance. She said yes, not to provoke, but to remember that she was still seen. William watched with clenched jaw and burning eyes. When the music stopped, he crossed the floor and took her hand without asking. "This time," he said, "you dance with me." The dance was tense, charged, magnetic. "Why do you do this?" he asked her. "Why do you provoke me?" "Because I exist," she said. "Because I'm not your ghost." Later, on the cold balcony, she confronted him fully. "You're afraid of me?" she said. "No," he whispered, stepping closer. "I'm afraid of what you make me feel." But again, he turned away. And again, Emily was left standing in silence. That night, Emily couldn't sleep. She walked barefoot to the garden, past the dripping trees, to the pool under moonlight. There, she stripped off her dress and dove into the water, raw, free, alive. William followed. When he saw her, he froze. She saw him. "I'm not afraid," she said. And then she kissed him. The world stopped. He kissed her back, fiercely, hungrily, like a man waking from a coma of coldness. In his arms, she wasn't just Emily. She was everything he had ever buried. They didn't speak that night. Their bodies did. And in that shared warmth, the general finally became human. But morning brought fear. William was gone. When Emily found him, he stood in the garden, facing a dying rose bush. "That night was a mistake," he said without turning. Her heart shattered again. He confessed, "I don't know how to love. I never learned. Everyone I've ever loved is gone." "It's not love that breaks us," Emily said. "It's fear." But he walked away, and for the first time, she didn't chase. Days passed. Then came the call. William's convoy had been attacked. He was gravely injured. Emily rushed to the military base, broke through protocols with tears and defiance. "I'm his wife," she shouted. "Let me see him." When she found him, bandaged, unconscious, she broke. "You pushed me away, and now you almost die," she whispered. He stirred. He saw her. "I thought it was safer," he said weakly. "To protect you. From me." She touched his face. "No more running." A single tear escaped his eye, the first she had ever seen. Recovery was slow. Emily stayed by his side, washing his face, reading to him, sitting in silence. One day she asked, "Why have you always been so hard?" "Because if you're hard on the outside," he said, "you believe nothing can hurt the inside." Bit by bit, his story unfolded. The loss of his mother, the death of his brother, the emotional trenches he built to survive. "You got through," he admitted. "I just didn't know what to do with you." She smiled. "Just stop running." He lay his head in her lap. "When you came into that tent, I thought I was dreaming." One night, under stars above the camp, Emily couldn't keep it in. "I need to tell you something," she said. "I'm not asking for anything. But I fell in love with you." He said nothing at first. Then he whispered, "I can't give you that." "Why?" she asked. "Because what I feel is confusion, a storm, and I'm afraid I'll hurt you." She nodded. "I didn't come to fix you," she said, "but I won't be your prison either." and she walked away, heart torn but proud. That night, William couldn't sleep. Her voice haunted him. "I fell in love with you." By evening, he stood at her tent trembling. "I don't know if it's love," he said, "but it's real, and it's yours." She stepped out. He cupped her face, and he kissed her, gently, slowly, honestly. "I don't need a hero," she whispered. "I just need someone who won't walk away." He smiled. "Then maybe I can learn." In time, William healed, and so did Emily. He no longer wore his uniform like armor. He let his hands grow calloused in the garden beside her. One afternoon, he said, "I've spent my life losing people. I thought love was a trap. Then you came, and you stayed." She hugged him. "I waited for you to say that." "I love you," he said. And this time, he meant it. The soulless general was no more. He was just a man, flawed, frightened, and finally, free. Sometimes, the greatest battles are not fought on battlefields, but in hearts too scared to feel. And sometimes, love wins not with swords, but with patience.